Yes, people, we're back today, and today we're going to be talking about who I think is going to replace Jurgen Klopp at Liverpool. Obviously, the German manager last week announced that he will be leaving the club at the end of the season after, I think, 7, 8 years he spent with the club. So, Jurgen Klopp will be leaving. He's won basically everything with Liverpool: Champions League, Premier League, Carabao Cup, FA Cup, everything is won with Liverpool. And big manager, big loss to the Premier League, but I'm going to be giving you my top 5 replacements for Jurgen Klopp. Let's get into it. So starting off with number 5, I'm going to go with Pep Blinders or Pep Blinders. I don't know how to pronounce his name right there. But basically, he's the assistant manager to Jurgen Klopp. He's been there at the club since I think Jurgen Klopp took over, which is back in 2015. And again, I feel like this would be the very easy transition. Just come in. He already knows a lot about Klopp's playing style, the system. The players already know him. The players love him. So this would be the easy transition, come in and just kind of take over and continue where Klopp left off without any kind of transition period or a period where they need to kind of rebuild again. So I feel like this would be the very cheap option as well, again, because you don't have to pay him that much. But I feel like this won't happen because it's a very risky move, in my opinion. If I were a Liverpool fan, I wouldn't put this at the top of my list. I wouldn't be looking at getting Blinders in as the permanent manager. Because again, he hasn't really had a managerial job before, and just throwing him in a job into Liverpool is probably very risky. So I wouldn't put Pep Blinders on the higher up the list, but I definitely have him at number 5th. Number 4th, to replace him, I'm gonna go with a manager who's kind of fallen a bit under the radar, but I feel like he's a very top manager. I'm gonna go with Hansi Flick. Obviously, his first managerial job at Bayern, and we all saw what the brother did at Bayern Munich. That team was scary. I'll have to say that, because the Bayern team that he had was scary. The way they played, the high line, the aggressive pressing, the football they played, they were just peppering teams up, just battering teams for fun. We all saw what they did to Barcelona. We all saw what they did to Tottenham, Chelsea, a lot of teams in Germany as well. They won the treble in his first season. Second season as well, they did pretty well as well. But I feel like he'd do pretty well at Liverpool as well. Coming in, the players play a very similar style to what he played at Bayern Munich: high line, high pressing, heavy metal football. Players like Szoboszlai, McAllister, they could all play that. Some Salah still there, Robertson, Trent, they could still play that kind of football as well. The reason why I've put Hansi Flick at number 4th is because I think he is a very ambitious manager, and I feel like he is a bit too ambitious for Liverpool, because we all know Klopp at Liverpool, he wasn't spending bucket loads of money every season. He was kind of working with a shoestring budget, especially in the early years. And with the whole notion of FFP going around, teams don't have that much money to spend that much. I feel like Hansi Flick is a manager who wants to spend a lot of money, and that was kind of the main reason why he left Bayern Munich, because he wanted the board to spend money on the team so he can win the Champions League again. And I feel like Liverpool and FSG are not going to do that. I feel like they're going to go with the same shoestring budget approach, smart recruitment, smart scouting on the players. And I don't think Hansi Flick would accept that. I feel like he wants ready-made players compared to what Liverpool did with Klopp. Was like they go for up-and-coming talent, and they go for very smart recruitment to bring in players who are going to come in and make an impact. So because of that, I feel like Hansi Flick is a top manager, but I don't think he's the right manager for Liverpool. It could happen, but I do not see this one happening. That's why I put Hansi Flick number 4th. So Hansi Flick, number 4th. On number 3, I'm going to go with another big manager in the Premier League. I feel like he is deserving of a big move, what he's done at the club. I'm going to go with Roberto Di Zerby. Obviously, when he first came into the Premier League, he came in to replace Graham Potter, who left for Chelsea. We all know how that ended. But not a lot of people knew who he was. When I first saw that he was appointed, I didn't know who he was. I thought, like, okay, cool, just another manager to come in and steady ship. But Brighton, they find diamonds of players. It looks like they also find diamonds of managers now, because De Zerbi, what he did at Brighton was incredible. You got him to Europa League in his first season. Something very big for the club. A club like Brighton, very big, getting into the Europa League. Took him to an FA Cup semi-final as well. He did a decent job as well, but mainly the reason why people are talking about De Zerbi is because of the football he plays. He plays a very tiki-taka style of football, possession-based football. He likes a lot of very technical players, and it's a very good joy to watch if you watch Brighton as well. I don't watch Brighton that much, but as a Tottenham fan, I've seen Brighton play as well, especially against us, right? And you can see the football De Zerbi plays, the football that Brighton are trying to play possession-based, break teams down, tiki-taka. It's a very good watch. And I feel like Liverpool fans would definitely love that kind of football. A lot of fans in the Premier League would love that football. The reason why I've put De Zerby at number 3 is because I feel like he wouldn't be a right fit right now at Liverpool. And the reason is because I don't think Liverpool have the players to play his kind of football. So if he were to come in, I feel like there would be a transition / rebuild phase that would happen. The first 1 or 2 seasons, they'll be focused on clearing out the players that do not fit his style of play and bringing in technical players that fit his style of play. Because if you look at the Liverpool team, I feel like a lot of those players are suited to more heavy metal football, what Klopp used to play. And that makes sense because Klopp's been there for so long. However, if you bring De Zerby in, who plays a completely different style compared to Klopp, you're going to have to go through that rebuilding phase. You're going to have to go through that transition phase where you're going to have to get rid of Klopp's players and bring in De Zerby's players. So it would be another transition phase where Liverpool probably wouldn't win anything for 2, maybe 3 seasons, and then they'll be back. But no doubt, again, I feel like De Zerby is a very good manager. I would love to see him get a big move because I think he deserves it, but I just do not think Liverpool's the right club, mainly because of what Klopp has built. And I feel like those players are mainly suited towards heavy metal, transition, gegenpress football compared to possession-based, slow build-up, tiki-taka football. So because of that, I do not think De Zerby will happen. So De Zerby, number 3. Number 2, this name has been talked about a lot, all over Sky Sports. Every post is about him. Jabo Lonzo. Obviously, up-and-coming manager, doing a really good job this season with Bayer Leverkusen, has them top of the Bundesliga right now ahead of Bayern. Incredible, and obviously, I think everyone wants Bayer Leverkusen to win the league because obviously they want to break the dominance in the Bundesliga. But I put him at number 2, and a lot of Liverpool fans are saying, Jabo Lonzo's the main man, he's the main man, he's the main man. I personally don't think he should be the main man, Jabo Lonzo. That's why I've put him at number 2. I feel like he is another De Zerby. I feel like he is because he plays very similar to De Zerby. He plays very slow build-up, tiki-taka, possession-based football. And because of that, I think he will struggle at Liverpool in the first few years. Again, entering a transition phase, as I mentioned with De Zerby. Because, again, I mentioned Liverpool do not have the players to play possession-based tiki-taka football. They're more counter-attacking, transition-based football, gegenpress football, heavy metal. That's what Liverpool tend to play. And he's going to come in and, again, clear out, bring in his own players, all that kind of stuff. And the reason why I don't think Jabo Lonzo should be the manager of Liverpool is because Bayer Leverkusen is his first managerial job. Before he came to Leverkusen, he was actually managing, I think, the under-18 team or the reserves for Leverkusen. And he only joined Leverkusen last season. He came in last season, midway through the season, as an interim. He was meant to be the interim. And he did a pretty good job, got the full-time job, and now he's got him fighting in the Bundesliga. But I feel like the move is too early for Alonso. I feel like he's still a young manager, his first managerial job. I feel like the jump is too big. I feel like the jump right now is too big. I think he needs to spend a bit more time at Leverkusen, continue developing his craft, continue, playing his style, continue building up Leverkusen. I feel like that's what he should do. And I feel like he should stay at Leverkusen for another 2 or 3 seasons. I feel like this Liverpool move is too early for him and it could ruin his reputation. I feel like Alonso is, another Gerrard. It could be another Steven Gerrard. When he was at Rangers, obviously Steven Gerrard was doing a brilliant job. People were saying, next Liverpool manager, next Liverpool manager. He came to the Premier League and it all collapsed. Now he's in Saudi. So I feel like Alonso needs to stay at Leverkusen for a bit, or maybe get another job in the Premier League at maybe, I don't know, a Newcastle or something, just to kind of build himself up and then go to the big move to Liverpool. But I feel like right now, Alonso to Liverpool is way too early. I feel like it would be another De Zerby. He comes in, needs a transition phase. And the reason why I put him a lot ahead of De Zerby is obviously because he's an ex-player. That's the only reason why. But yeah, I've gone with Alonso number 2. So, number 1, who I think should be the Liverpool new manager to replace Jurgen Klopp, Julian Nagelsmann. Let me tell you why. I think Nagelsmann is a very good manager. I've had my eye on him for the past couple of years, since he's kind of broke through at Leipzig. And I think he's a very top manager. Obviously, I like the job he did at Leipzig, developing a lot of young players, playing a good style of football, competing with Bayern. Obviously, they didn't win the league, but they're in a title race with Bayern, a team like Leipzig that was only formed 20 years ago. It's incredible. I feel like, he did a decent job at Bayern. I feel like he was wrongfully sacked by Bayern. I still don't know why Bayern sacked him, but he was wrongfully sacked. Obviously, right now he's with the national team. He is struggling a bit with the German national team, but let's be serious that the national team in Germany is just completely dead. I do not think they're good enough, but I think Nagelsmann is a good manager. He's obviously, I don't think he'll be the national team manager after the Euros. I think after the Euros are done, he'll be back on the managerial market again. So he'd basically be free. So Liverpool don't have to pay that much money to get him in. And on top of that too, the reason why I put Nagelsmann ahead of Alonso and De Zerby is because Nagelsmann's football suits this Liverpool team. The way Nagelsmann plays is very similar to Jurgen Klopp. They play gegenpressing football, high pressing, high intensity, transition-based football. The players are already used to playing that football under Jurgen Klopp, and they're going to be used to playing it under Nagelsmann. So the communication wouldn't be that much of a problem. Nagelsmann would come in right away and start getting them results and basically continue where Klopp left off. Obviously not like to the same extent, but like he'd still get them results. He'd come in, get the players playing again. The players wouldn't have that much difficulty understanding what is expected of them. So you don't have to go through that transition period where you have to go through with Alonso and De Zerby to get rid of Klopp's players, bring in their own players, change the style of football. Nagelsmann comes in, he's very familiar with the style of football that Klopp plays a very similar style. Players understand, boom, 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 they can start winning right away. On top of that too, another reason why I've put Nagelsmann ahead of, Hansi Flick, De Zerby, Alonso, is because Nagelsmann is a manager that knows how to work with a shoestring budget. He knows how to work with little to no funds. We've seen what he did at Leipzig. At Leipzig, he was working with no money. Yet he was able to develop a team that could compete for the title. Obviously, they didn't win it, but they were in a title race with Bayern Munich. And obviously, if he stayed at Leipzig longer, could they have won it? I don't know. But again, he's a manager that knows how to work with a budget. He comes in, does very smart recruiting. He loves to develop the young players, which is something that would be very, very good at Liverpool, especially, they have a very good youth academy, and they would love to see a lot of the younger players getting promoted. A lot of smart signings coming through the door as well. And especially with the whole FFP climate going on, teams don't have that much money to spend in. Nagelsmann would be perfect. Coming in, doing a lot of smart scouting, smart recruitment, developing a lot of the younger players. And I feel like that is what Liverpool needs. So therefore, I've gone with Nagelsmann as the first choice manager. And I think this will happen in the summer regardless, because I don't think he will be at the national team after the Euros. And because mainly the fact that Nagelsmann is a young manager. He's a young manager. He's new into the game, and he also has experience in managing a big club, which is something Alonso and De Zerby don't have. He's experienced in managing a big club like Bayern Munich, so he knows the expectations. He knows the standards that he could bring into Liverpool. And on top of that too, he's a young manager, as I mentioned as well, and he mentioned so many times in previous press conferences, interviews, all that kind of stuff, that he wants to be in the Premier League. He wants to manage in the Premier League. He's already turned down many job offers in the Premier League as well. He's turned down Tottenham, he's turned down Chelsea. I think he also turned down United as well. But I feel like this Liverpool job offer is big for him, and I think he will take it. So because of that, I've gone with Nagelsmann as my first choice, and I think he will be the Liverpool manager and should be the Liverpool manager in the summer. That's all for the video. I think Nagelsmann will be the manager. That's my opinion. I don't know about your opinion. You can leave it in the comments down below. Let me know, who do you want as your Liverpool manager? But again, I'll catch you all later then. Thanks for watching. Bye.